Thank you for your time and thank you for coming in today. This year we're trying something a little bit different than last year. Last year we just did the basic training for everybody, but this year because we run into a couple of issues last year, so we try to maintain and everything have set up and much more smoother and easygoing basically, so we can finish work. And this year we were able to split deliveries and all those plugs to come in certain dates. Last year, because of the logistics, they weren't able to split. Yeah, they just arrived like the thousands of them. So yeah, that's why we were prepared, all the soil and everything. It was just too much work. And we were bouncing around all over the greenhouses. So basically, this year we're trying to organize ourselves a little bit better. And then that's why we're doing this lead volunteer training. So basically, the lead volunteer is going to come in here and work with me. So we're going to have, yes, unfortunately. So yes. So basically, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna write down on the whiteboard all the tasks, what we plan for the day, and maybe according to that week. And then we're gonna do a couple of things that we're gonna track which greenhouses are gonna be people working, volunteers working, who's gonna be assigned for which greenhouse or maybe an operation room. So that's going to be much more organized. And what I expect from lead volunteer is to basically go over the tasks and show the volunteers what they're assigned for, and then make sure that everything is ready for the day. I'm going to be around, and I'm going to be always, helping the lead volunteer. Uh, Everything is going to be prepared in the morning, starting from the pots, soil, and then we're just gonna, as soon as 9 a.m. hits, we're gonna be ready to start working and with all those tasks. I'm gonna
Shift, is that what you're aiming for?
correct. Yes. We're gonna have one lead volunteer per shift. That's gonna be much more helpful. So we can track. And the main reason what I would like to have a lead volunteer is to inspect and double check things, so we don't have to go over and redo certain things. Unfortunately, last year I had a few times that the seedlings weren't very well transplanted, so we had to redo them, unfortunately, and that took us a way longer that we anticipated and we planned. So this year I'm trying to try this and track and be able to finish that work faster and to get a little bit better good quality work basically.
Are there any leads who couldn't make the meeting? I know that Janice Roberts is considered a lead.
I think we're all here for today that signed up for, so I don't know if more people are gonna be on the Zoom or yeah, and we're recording it too, so we can
I think James and Susie Marcus.
Oh, good.
Were both interested, and I don't remember Amy with the other names. So I don't know who else. But we're gonna need, to Sandy's comment, we're gonna need more lead volunteers. We're gonna have one on every shift. So we need more than just the group that's here.
And can we just sign up for a particular day? So for example, I know I'm always a lead on Wednesday mornings. Maybe some of them.
I think so. I think Amy can answer that.
Yeah.
So we can work with Amy on the scheduling. Yeah, talk to Amy. I personally don't care when who is working which day. So it's for your availability. Yeah, I'm more than welcome to have you all, so, we already worked before, so.
And then will the other volunteers know that there's a lead now and that they're responsible for things and they can tell them, no, this is incorrect or.
Yes, correct, yeah. And I'm gonna be here too most of the time. If there's some issues, problems, misunderstanding, we can always, look for me and then we can always discuss and get ready and prepare and make sure we're on the same
Maybe you
page.
could post it on.
That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
So what I'm planning to do is write down who's the lead volunteer of the day of the shift, and then write down the tasks, and people can visually have. And then we're gonna check marks, everything what we do during the day. So that's gonna help me out to track what's done in the first shift and then get ready for the second shift. And it's gonna be much easier for me to plan in advance and track work and yeah, it's just gonna be much easier for everybody. So people are gonna have less questions, and if they do have questions, I can explain them what we're gonna do and how we're gonna do it.
And we're gonna come in like. You want us 15 minutes early?
So if you can come in 15 minutes earlier, that would be great. If not, it's okay. I can, go over at 9 and then with other volunteers too, so I don't have to repeat myself. But up to you. If you can come in a
I
little bit,
think we should come
Yeah,
in 15 minutes early.
sure. Yeah, if
I
that's,
think that should be part of the program, not a
yeah,
choice.
let's do that then. Yeah, I'm flexible personally, but whatever you ladies prefer, it's on you. So if you say let's do it, let's do it. It's gonna probably help us much to prepare and then have everything stock up and ready. Just as soon as 9 a.m. starts, we can.
And
Yeah.
especially if you're going to have a newer volunteer. Volunteering to someone to be here, or like they always walk in. What do I do? And who do I see?
Sure.
It's a great idea.
So, I print out some of the slides that I made. So basically, I'm gonna go over, we put some basic things on the slides that you can understand. I'm sorry, some of them are very
They're hard to read,
hard to read.
but that's all right. That's not.
And then I'm gonna talk more about certain things. So yes, as I said, I'm gonna be here and for all help questions, you can always, feel free to come and ask me. Check the whiteboard, so that's gonna be the main place to look for tasks. So help prepare. So if you notice, we're gonna do, for example, 15 trays of some seedlings. Make sure we have all the trays up and running and ready. I'm gonna rearrange those shelves. They're
You know,
clean up, yes, because yes, it's a lot. Most of all the pots are washed and ready to go. We still work on some trays. That's gonna be probably next 2 weeks all done. And stock up, we got all the deliveries, soil is in the house, trays, pots, everything is ready. So I already started some seeds and we have some tiny seedlings of English thyme. So we're good, ready to go, and I'm super excited. So yeah, make sure you walk around, familiarize yourself with pots and trays whenever sense. We can go over, whenever you start your shift, we can go over, I can show you where's what. We're gonna clean up this area here, put all the plant tags, and all the tags are gonna be there. Please
like
make
last
sure, yes.
Yeah.
I expect from the lead volunteer to go over the tags and check what plants we are gonna do and what seedlings. So we immediately have everything ready, and just make sure, please, you double check all that the label matches the plant that we're doing.
Could we start with seedlings? Are there plenty of the white tags here? Because usually we just put one white tag in the front of the tray with a black marker.
correct,
Those are all on order and they'll be right over here like
Yes.
last year.
correct. Yeah, everything is gonna be like we used to do, tags. So if we start in a 4 packs, so every 4 pack in a tray, no, actually one per tray is gonna be labeled. It's gonna say Fopcon and then name of the plant, and then when the seedling was started. So, and then we're gonna keep track of it, so.
And then are we gonna be doing popcorn and park?
Yes, correct, correct. Because seedlings, I already started seedlings for the park district.
Okay.
So they're gonna be for spring flowers. We're gonna have some pansies, some alyssum, and cannas, and calendula. So that's already up and running. Like, I'm starting today in the second shift, transplanting all of those seedlings already into the 4 packs. So it's coming fast.
Little green things.
Oh, yes, little babies. Okay, assistance with bags of soil, they're pretty heavy. Please make sure if you gonna do it, so we're gonna take all the soil off the pallets and put it on the tables. Don't take the bag yourself. Like, have assistant, ask any of our staff from PDOP, because I don't want anybody to get hurt. And if you do it 2 people or maybe 3 people at a time. We don't know, some of them are a little bit more wet, more heavier. Yes, and the other thing with soil, please, wear a mask if you feel like, like it causes a lot of like coughing on my behalf. So let's wear a mask, gloves, everything is ready. Gloves are gonna be on the window ledge, different sizes, different fabric material, masks, and we have eye protecting glasses. If you don't wear glasses, I can give you some like clear glasses so you protect yourself just in case. We usually don't have any issues with that, but sometimes, you know, it can happen. So we just want to be on the safe side. So last year, what happened, because we prepared all the soil and all the pots at once, so the soil dries out much faster. So what happened, I was like early in the morning before we were transplanting I would water the soil. So this year, let's try it, because we're not gonna have a lot of bugs coming in at the same time. So let's grab buckets and water the soil and then fill it up the pots, and just kind of make it a little bit more moisture and wet. So that's gonna reduce the dust in the air. And we can always open the windows, and we're gonna turn off the AC and the heater, so we can control the temperature inside, and then we can open the doors and get some fresh air. Or we can do it like every, like, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, we can air it a little bit, and just to have that airflow going. So next thing, yeah, double check the seedlings, the plugs, and the tags. That's very important, because we don't want to mix
It's
matching.
crucial.
It's crucial,
Look
exactly.
twice off and then go back and read them again, because you make a mistake, somebody gets the wrong plant. And just all sorts of horrible unintended consequences.
Exactly.
So just make double sure that the tags match.
So next thing, filling up the trays with soil and the pots. So we have 2 different kinds of pots. We're gonna add some of the rounded pots too in the bigger, like 6-inch round pots. But we're gonna do that later on, because we're gonna have already bigger plants, and then we're just gonna transplant them. So that's gonna come in later before finishing the plant. So that's gonna probably be end of April.
So there's 200 of those
Correct.
kitchen minis. So are we growing kitchen minis in 4-inch rounds
So correct.
specifically?
No, not rounds. We're gonna go them into regular
We're gonna
square.
go squares.
Yes.
And then we're gonna move them into 6-inch.
Exactly.
Later.
Later on,
Good.
yes.
Yeah, that's
So that's how we do it.
600.
Exactly. Exactly. And then we're gonna do that because we're gonna have all the plants uniformed and at the same size. And the other thing, why we're doing that is because of the space. Because all of those big trays, it's gonna take more space because they're like 6-inch pots and trays are a little bit bigger. So with square pots and square trays,
They fit together
fit
better.
together, exactly.
This is
Um,
Yeah, what kitchen?
Yeah. Well, we
So-
can talk
I
now.
can send out a link about it too.
Here,
About
here.
that post.
Briefly, I'm gonna go over that. So basically,
Yeah.
because it's a 35th year anniversary
Yes.
of the plant sale, so we came up with the idea to do something special this year. And we were discussing a lot about what we're gonna do, and we made a decision to do like a already grown plants, mini kitchen pots. So basically, we grow them into a finished pot, so basically people can immediately put them in the nicer planter and have them in their kitchen, on their window
Are we
ledge.
doing anything about the light needs of those plants? Because people think, oh, well, I'll just put it in my
Kitchen counter,
Sunday window or my kitchen counter and there's not enough light
that's what they're engineered for.
for a kitchen counter for. a
Yeah, and
fluorescent
this is Pan American Seed Corporation,
for-
hand in hand with Ball Seed.
bulb. Yeah.
And there's, you can just go kitchenmini.com and there's loads of information
Good.
on the web. And we're marking it in, that this beautiful ceramic pot is not included.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The little plastic pot is inside there. There should be a lot of publicity all around town about this kitchen mini.
So yeah, we definitely discussed about it when we planned last year.
That's true.
And yes, we came up with that idea and solution, so that's gonna be something extra for our members. and
Cute call.
Three varieties, only three.
So
So tomato,
One tomato, one cucumber, and one pepper.
and how big are the kitchens? They're like this?
Well, it's all in, it's 2.5.
It's about 3
It's
inches.
an
There's-
To 3
Okay,
inches.
okay.
There's a blog post on our website
Oh,
about
okay,
kitchen
cool.
minis that we just
Oh,
posted.
they're cute.
my plugs are here, so. Yeah, it feels like Christmas every day, and like every day I'm just getting all of those beautiful gifts.
Yeah.
I think I didn't have apron. So,
That's young. That's our plants come from Mass
Mhm.
Young also.
so yeah, it's a very good greenhouse. So let's go back to the
Okay.
trays. So this year, I'm gonna explain a little bit later how we're gonna fill up those trays and in person. And last year I ran into a couple of issues that a lot of those trays had soil in between the pots and they were like holding. So this year, I'm having a little bit more volunteers hands-on filling up the trays in here. And we're gonna do manage. So we're gonna try to fill up everything up to the rim, tap it, and then we're gonna transfer all of those filled pots into a clean tray.
Okay.
So 2 steps, yeah.
That's
Yes, unfortunately, we have to do that. It's gonna be maybe a little bit more time consuming, but definitely it's gonna help us grow because I noticed some mold and some other issues in between, and I honestly don't want to do that. And especially with the fiber pots, because they're like so get into together, and then those roots, they grow so fast and they just got intertwined themselves, and it's so hard to pull them apart. And we broke the pots, and you know, it's just kind of stresses the plants. And then, yeah, there was a lot of mold, so,
When are we gonna start cutting the collars off the cow pots?
oh, they're all done.
They're all done.
Oh, yes, everything is done, yeah, so we're all ready and good to go. So, yeah, they're like already in the boxes, yeah.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
Okay, next slide. So, okay, transplanting seedlings. You'll already ladies know, we've done this many years. So basically, make sure to use the chopsticks, use the gloves, and or if you don't like to use gloves, you can do with your fingers. Hold seedlings for the leaves, not for the stems. Please make sure volunteers know that. Let's remind them, and I like to talk and repeat myself a lot. But, and find that very, very helpful because people forget and they start talking and, just please remind them not to grab this tiny seedlings for the stems, grab it for the leaves. If we break the leaves, that's fine. Plant is gonna regrow the
And up
leaves.
to their necks, right?
Exactly, yes, so.
And John Seaton used to call the leaves nature's candy.
Very nice. And use the chopsticks and make the hole into the pot and basically how we did it last year and make a hole. Slowly, gently put the seedlings into the hole and then tap it with the chopstick. Sometimes people use their fingers and then they press too deep or too much and they can damage the seedlings and the roots and especially the stems.
This was a problem last year that I encountered on several occasions.
Mhm.
And actually it was the same people who couldn't understand that the seedlings had to be up to their necks.
Correct.
And then I had to tell them you have to redo the whole tray.
Yeah.
And that's kind of hard to say,
Mhm.
like, well, this is good enough, is it? No,
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 it's
no,
not.
no.
And that's what we get to get the grief
Mhm.
for those things.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've been here for
Yeah.
many years. And it's important. New people don't, and if they're not gardeners, they don't know, or if they don't grow things from seed, that people just simply don't know.
And it's one seedling per pot, not a little. bit.
Correct. One
What is it?
seedling per pot, specifically in the center of the pot,
Yes.
preferably. And one tag per pot, and it's gonna go on I'm gonna talk about.
But at the seedling, planting the seedling. Are, we're not putting in the picture tags already, are we? Are we up to the 4-inch now? If we're up to
So,
the 4-inch,
if-
then we're putting in the picture tags.
so if the seedlings are stretchy and a little bit longer, so we're gonna go directly into the 4-inch pot.
So if we're into a 4-inch, are we
Correct.
label them way this early in February?
Yes, yeah, I
Okay.
would do it immediately because it's gonna save us time. Instead of like going afterwards and adding all those
Okay,
labels again, so I would just go straight ahead.
they're on
Could
here.
go across
Mhm.
the greenhouse bench and put tags in.
So are there any plants being sold in 4-packs?
Yes.
There are.
Yes, correct, yeah, we have, a couple of them, I cannot remember at the beginning.
Maybe not as many as last year, just a
Mhm.
handful.
Okay.
Yeah, because some of the leaks or chives, I can remember. Because we were doing only in the 4-packs, like 4 cells. So this year, we're gonna do a little bit more seedlings in the 4-packs, basically. Because they're so little and people weren't very happy and satisfied how they looked like, but they grow so fast and I had some of the leeks in my terracotta pot and they grow so fast and get so big, so I had to split them and make more space for them, so yeah, let's go to a next slide. So transplanting plant plugs. So they're they're very well rooted, so they're more forgiving than the seedlings. So basically, the same thing, same procedure, how we do with chopstick, the same thing, we can make a hole into the pot in center of the pot and then put the plug directly in. So we have 2 different kinds of plugs. So some of the plugs, they already come in with a certain, like a membrane. So that's like a dissolvable plastic, degradable. So we don't have to take that off. Some of them come with some different kind of a fabric. And then they're all biodegradable, so they can easily, so don't take it off. Yes, correct,
It has to be below the soil line.
correct,
Or else that little membrane, if it's above, it dries out really,
Yeah.
really fast, so.
Super
it
fast.
kinda stinks
everything
up.
has to be correct, covered with soil, level it and covered.
past, when they haven't, we have tended to pull the root ball apart a little bit to get it started. Do we not do that now?
No,
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 good.
no,
One
no, new technology, new methods.
Yeah.
And some of the plugs, they have small teeny tiny clips.
There was.
So clips. Yeah, so basically because they're like
Part of the machine.
robotic
Mm.
transplanting and planting them
AI.
basically. So you don't have to take those clips off. They can stay over time, they're dissolving.
Great. Oh,
Yeah, and they're like popping, so plant can grow. And when plant is growing bigger and bigger, they basically break them down.
Well, now with, okay, so with plug, so we wanna make sure that the membrane gets lower than the soil. But you're always supposed to plant like the top of the plug with the top of the soil, right?
Right.
You don't
Correct.
put it all the way down to the,
No,
yeah.
correct. Yeah,
And the soil in those, do you want that rim on the pots showing?
no.
No.
Um,
To the top.
we're gonna go to the top because
Okay.
when the soil, when I water and fertilize, the soil is gonna settle, and then this way, we're gonna have uniform pots and
And the soil won't be so
Level.
dried out like it was last year.
Exactly.
Cause it's gonna be going in damp.
Mhm. Correct, so gonna be much, much better. And yes, the same thing, how with the seedlings, every pot has one tag per pot. And one plug per pot. In the center of the pot. So yeah, I made a little bit teeny tiny. So, like we usually do, we are facing the tray, like the shorter side of the tray, to ourselves, and then we're gonna have in the left corner of the pot, all the tags. And please make sure they're all into the soil, all the way down. Because
Oh, okay.
personally, I don't need it necessarily to see them because I already know what the plants are. Those are mostly for the people who are buying it, so they can easily take the tag and have it at home and
There's
read more about it.
information.
Correct. There's some information, what plant it is, and then how to take care of it,
But then
basically.
in a round pot. The label goes on front, right? In a round
Well,
pot.
we're doing.
So for the,
For
for the,
your kitchen minis.
for the kitchen minutes, so that's gonna be in center.
In the front.
in the
But
front.
then for the other ones, if you want them over to the left side,
Yeah.
So always to do. Yeah.
even in a round.
So,
No, there's only 200 rounds, and we're gonna be in 6-inch rounds, way towards the
Okay,
end.
but no, but I'm
We're
talking,
growing them
oh, but the
squares.
4 inch, the 4 inch are square.
so everything for the popcorn sale is in a 4 inch and square. For
We
the-
don't label every.
Correct.
You just
So,
need one flat, you know.
So
They
we're gonna
are-
have, correct, so for the park district plants, plants that are going to the parks, we use rounded 4.5-inch pots. So it goes only one tag per tray. That it says what kind of a variety it is. Correct, yes, how we hold the tray is gonna be on the left corner, that one pot, yeah.
I've probably never done any park district pots. So, if you're doing a tray for a park district, do you have a picture tag or a handmade white tag?
Handmade.
Handmade.
Mostly. We are gonna have some of the tags, but we only use one per tray. So we are not gonna use in every single pot because that's just too much work for our staff
Yeah.
later on when
And
we
it's
plan.
wasteful.
Yeah.
And it's exactly, and we don't want any of those tags in the parks, in our flower beds. Exactly. So, correct.
Secret conservatory, you know.
So it's gonna be P. P, so yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
it's a therapy.
right.
It's either-
or even put like a PDOP.
That's
If,
actually
there-
fun though.
if there's space. But yeah, no, P is fine for the parks and F for
Oh,
yeah, fabulous popcorn. Correct. So basically, this is how it should look like. So I took a few photos. So some of the tags, especially proven winners, the tags are very big. So they're gonna try to put them all the way to the left corner, but still they're gonna take probably more than a half of the face of the pot. Perfect. Let's go next. So planted trays and pots. So after we transplant and we finish the tray, so I don't know who's gonna do. So if lead volunteer takes the tray, one from each volunteer, that everything has to be the same and uniform. So please make sure to double check and inspect and correct it immediately. Just walk around and please make sure to correct them immediately, so we don't have to go back and repeat and and do everything.
Then when we have like
again.
the silver cart to put them on.
Yes, correct. We're gonna have silver racks
Mhm.
for the
Finished trays.
finished trays. Or if there's not too many of them, we have two carts with the 3-level shelves, and they're very easy to move around, and then just you can use that. And what I'm gonna do on the whiteboard, that is gonna be that I'm gonna tell you and show you where all of those trays are gonna go. And basically, we're just gonna move them like volunteers. You can have lead volunteer or other volunteer, you can have like together take and move all of those trays and set them up in the main pieces. And then later on, I'm gonna go immediately and water them and prepare them. I'll be around too, so I might gonna just grab trays myself.
Are
Take
we
them.
responsible for making sure that the tray count is correct? For example, we're supposed to have 8 glass or
Yes,
something.
please. Yes,
And so before they go out of here, we need to double check. There are in fact 8. Wednesday morning wonders could never get the same kind twice, so. I think it's a good thing to make sure,
Yeah, and
that
if
we-
if you're transplanting multiple different species, start with one before you the next. Sometimes volunteers get ahead of themselves, of want to keep going and then grab a different, and then things get mixed up.
Yeah.
So your whole table should be on the same plant.
Mhm,
That's different.
Yeah, because
But you're,
sometimes,
you're gonna set up how many trays you want filled for that
correct.
one, so
but
you'll
we
know how
still,
many.
I
mean,
mean, we still need to count.
Correct.
Do that with seedlings. Because we're all sharing off the one little tray,
Mhm.
and it would be hard to have 4 people.
You just take, you can take a strip.
Take a strip. over.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
there's always exception, of course, if you're only doing like 2 or 4 flats of something and you've got 5 around your table or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, but if you're in a common space, because we have had, especially with like moms or that, we've had things get.
Mhm.
one thing mixed up, it's hard to- Great.
Yeah, basically, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna write down the varietal of the plant, what we're doing, how many flats are we gonna do, and we're gonna make sure. So maybe some of the already filled up trays with soil are gonna be on the silver racks. So basically, we just take them, set them up in the middle, and then we do that first, move that aside, and then continue with other things. And yes, some of the volunteers are gonna be faster, some of them are gonna be slower. Exactly. I just, want you to, remind the volunteers, they're here to enjoy the conservatory, work with plants. And, we're not rushing into it. And I prefer to have well done work better than.
Slapdash.
Exactly. So, and plants are gonna appreciate that too. They're gonna, take a, certain time to properly transplant, and that's just gonna be win-win for everybody. And yeah, we're gonna play some music and people can talk and we just I wanted people to enjoy. I don't want to be stressed and overwhelmed, at the end of the day, because, we're here to, enjoy spring and everything and.
And you don't
That's
want
fine,
us
so-
to be martinets and standing around with, not do it this way, I'd rather explaining why.
Correct.
And this is
I
why.
mean, I'm
Just
gonna,
blame Duchamp.
exactly. Throw me under the bus.
Not I have seen, we've already talked about, is putting the plug in deep enough so the membrane is covered, so that the seedling is deep enough. That's hard to convince people. And then putting the tag in the right, it's the same story. I've been doing this 6 years. It's the same story every
Yeah,
year.
longer than that, but yeah,
Yeah, I've only been here 6, yeah.
if we're gentle about it and give people the reason why. This is
Correct.
why, well, why does it matter? It matters because it will pull the moisture up and then oh, okay.
Right.
So.
I'm gonna have a whip
Oh,
here on the weekend. During the loins. All right, a couple of house rules. So with this one, we try to be more organized and I would like to all the volunteers to be on the same page so they know exactly what their shift is and when they come here. So basically they're gonna be assigned by the house. They're gonna be maybe in the east house, poly house, or maybe in the west house, or maybe here in the ops room. So we can switch that and change. It depends on the volunteer's ability. So I don't feel comfortable to have some volunteer who is, like slower and it doesn't, who doesn't feel comfortable working in the sun or in a warmer house. So I would prefer him to work here in the operations room just because of safety and concerns. We don't want, any issues, accidents, incidents, here in the house and overheating or, getting like over, cold.
Freezing.
Correct?
yeah.
So, yeah, but just please make sure that volunteers are assigned, who is assigned where, because we're gonna have, a sign-in sheets, so the people are gonna sign in
So we get our
to the
hours.
certain, correct, and that's gonna help us to track your hours and track volunteers' hours and see who's coming, who, in case some of the people don't show up, so we can track and see what's going on and plan accordingly.
It's really important to maybe as lead volunteers, remind the volunteers, don't forget to record your hours. It helps in forecasting what our volunteer needs are for the next year.
Right.
And,
Yep.
that's
It's
hours.
also a larger matter for the park district because when we're being looked at for various awards or certifications, how many volunteers we have and how many volunteer hours we generate is a huge plus for the park district when it comes time to do our various certification accreditation. So it's really important. It's not.
So you want them to sign in and do the QR code or just?
So they can do one or other. Some people, they prefer QR codes and then do it over their cell
So it's
phones.
one or the other, no.
Yes, or they can sign in like old school, there's a sheet.
Yeah.
So they can track your, oh, yeah, so whatever it's easier for the volunteer, whatever they prefer, they can do one or other, correct. Just make sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a calendar up there. Do you have an extra calendar around here to put it right over that, paper
sure.
towel thing?
Yeah. Or calendar, or maybe like a small clock or something, so.
And didn't last year, the, like, who signed up, like, who
Correct.
came in, you could see, okay, I've got 3 volunteers today, and she could do something.
But
Correct.
when you're recording your hours, the question was, well, what day is it today?
Oh,
Yeah, there's that. We all did that, even though it's on our phone.
Yes, we're gonna do that. In other hand, there's always a calendar on that door, and then the. I mean, if people are doing it on their cell phones, so they can easily, they don't have to be here at the station.
Yeah.
To do it.
And what are the shifts you want?
So,
Shifts hours.
so shift, one shift in the morning and one in the afternoon. So morning shift is gonna be from 9 a.m. till 11:30. So, and then, afternoon shift is gonna start from 1 to 3.
Not doing 3 hours, 9 to 12 anymore.
We didn't last year.
So,
I signed up for 9 to 12 plant care.
so
And
we're
1 to
gonna
3.
change a little bit because I need to go and get a lunch.
Could you
Yeah.
have the-
So, yeah, we're gonna
Who
see,
eats?
we're gonna discuss more about it, and see. It depends on the work too. If we have more work, we can stay. We can always stay longer. So it's gonna
Is it
be,
9 to?
Check.
9 to
Yeah.
9. My 9 to
We can
noon for
double
mornings
check.
and then 1 to 3 for afternoon.
we can double check.
I don't think that's too long. I know we talked about this 3 hour business in the morning. I don't think it's too long for all the reasons, and we always let people go to the bathroom. Just tell us you're leaving, so we know where you are.
There's nothing that says if the assigned work is done, that we can't leave.
Well, I like how we're supposed to leave quickly.
The one,
Quietly.
Yeah.
the one thing I will add though, and to Deshaun's point, it's not just his lunch. When we get towards spring and that we're full staff and our kitchenette does not hold all our staff for lunch.
Yeah.
And we have to provide a spot for our staff to eat lunch. Really, our union staff to provide space and they break at 11:30. So I think that's probably where Deshaun's coming from, but we can
Yeah.
talk about that.
Well, we also stand around and visit too, and I know the poor guy doesn't walk out in the middle of the conversation, but he's starving. So we do need to leave when we're done.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it
In
and
the
So-
park.
As I said, we can set it up 9 to noon. Just to be mindful, and then, volunteers can leave when they finish. When the work is done, they can leave, so that can be in the.
It could be.
I mean, I can always find things that. have to be-
Volunteers can do.
Exactly, so, we can always find more work, but yeah. I was just thinking about 11:30 because our other staff, they have their lunch break, so that's why we're trying to, have less people and,
Why don't we just call it 9 to 11:30?
Yeah, do
Decide
9 to-
now.
Yeah, 9 to 11:30.
And then people still can clean up in that last half hour. if they're not
Correct.
private
Correct.
research us.
so that's
Cleaning,
the
sweeping.
other thing that I would, go over. As a lead volunteer, I would, be very appreciative and, happy if you could, make sure that all the stations and the floors and the pots and, dirty pots are moved and put away. And, I'm gonna order some new brooms and some new pans, so we have everything ready, and then make sure, volunteers clean after themselves. Sometimes, they just leave it as it is and they just go.
Leave it for the next crew like it was when we got here.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the other thing, on Wednesdays, we're gonna have a planned help desk. So that's gonna be from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So we just have to make sure that one of the sides of the table is clear and cleaned and sanitized. Because we're gonna have probably, people, patrons walking in and bringing their plants to be transplanted. And, so.
Station.
So, yes, we're gonna work around and see how everything works. So I'm just trying to have, I don't wanna mix other people's plants with my plants and soil.
See,
Yes,
No.
correct. Everything has to be separated. I don't want anybody, any diseases, any
Bugs.
other bugs, insects, whatever they have. So, and then, so very, important thing is like, if we have some leftover soil on the tables, I would just compost it. Like, do not put it back into the
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's
bins.
used.
Correct, if it's used soil, like if it's a fresh soil, yeah, that's fine. But just please be aware and then tell that to the volunteers, and then I would prefer to compost.
When it's out, throw it out.
That's good.
Correct, so if it's, a little bit of soil, I would just compost that because we have a lot of soil that we got, so. That's the other thing, that's the other hazard, I don't want anybody to choke on their name tags.
I wish they could work at the booths and the tables and the greenhouses.
So I haven't decided yet on that one, but I think that's gonna be helpful because people can spread a little bit and have more working space. We kept all of those.
'Cause personally, I work better alone at my station.
Mhm.
With maybe like, we often were together, like she could be over at her station on that side and I could be at my station. And this, I accomplish a lot more because there's no chatterboxing
Okay,
and I can't work in here.
I
and
think
work.
you're gonna have a whole range of people. Some are gonna
Yeah.
want that, and I agree with you, Mary Ellen, when we moved to that during COVID, and the reason we did was we had
COVID,
to,
yeah.
the productivity, I mean, not to discount the,
The
community,
table, yeah.
but especially initially when we've got thousands of bugs coming in.
But then the lead, plant, the lead person will have to go around to all those stations and check and make
And
sure.
know where
everything
everybody
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that, yeah, you're getting the right number of trays.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you can think on that.
yes,
I know it's hard to please everyone, some people really like it, some people want in here.
No, I always like to by myself doing my
Would it be useful for us as leads to make notes about some of our volunteers? To pass on to you who move people around? Because we'll see who's really good, who's slow, who doesn't understand the numbers or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But those kinds of notes in a nice tone can be nasty, but if we see something that needs your attention at the end of the
Mhm.
shift, I think it would be useful if we either told you or jotted it down and said, this particular person prefers to work in the polyhouse, for example, or prefers to be, those kinds of things can help us manage folk.
sure,
So,
Yeah, and I think that's really gonna be kind of, to whoever the leads volunteer, and you guys just to talk and work that out. I think, Deshaun, that might be a stretch to get him to kind of coordinate that with each shift. So, I mean, if you guys just talk together.
Don't we
At the
register
beginning
by
of your
house? We register
Yes,
by
correct.
house?
yep.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, when we.
You
speak,
Oh, okay.
Don't we?
Still do.
We
track.
did.
We
So-
did,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cause if you're gonna be in one house, I know I had to wear a sweatshirt, cause I'm
Right.
cold, and the other house I was warm.
So
So we know where
we-
we're going.
we're gonna do that like we
Okay.
did last year,
Yeah.
just because people prefer certain areas.
let them
So
choose.
they can choose, and then
When they
if
sign up.
there's not enough, people from one place and one station, we can fill it up and, we can work around, the schedule. So,
Organization, then you
mhm,
have to put some seedlings there, something there.
correct. So I'm gonna try to do that. I did that last year. I'm gonna do that.
You're gonna have lead volunteers do that.
In the morning, when I have a meeting with the lead volunteers, what we're gonna do and go over things so we can prepare. Where it's gonna go, which meetings, which flags are gonna go into which house.
Yeah.
So we can track and so we can coordinate everything together.
If we have a lot of new volunteers, have them in here with the seedlings so they can be supervised as they,
As a group.
as they learn how to
Group.
do it, but.
Correct.
With experienced folk, they can be, they're willing, they can be elsewhere because they know how to.
Correct.
Because we're doing our own table as well.
Right.
Mhm,
And just.
exactly. Okay, so cleaning, please make sure the volunteers clean up their sit, and then, very important is, floors around, especially in the greenhouses too. If there's any soil and we don't want any hazards or, slip and fall, trip and fall, situations. So yeah, please, grab a broom, wipe it up. Same thing with the tables. We have, dusting pans and brushes. Please, just the brush, the surface in areas.
Those pools in.
So it's gonna be in each greenhouse? Correct. Yes. Correct. Yep.
And then where do you want, the waste from the floor? You want it in compost or do you want it in garden?
So if it's a soil, that can go into the compost. But if there's like any plastic or any other trash, that can go into the trash. And then, I'm gonna try, to label all those bins. So we have clear picture and we know exactly what and where is going. So, and then I'm gonna make sure, instead of like having like maybe 3 bins for trash, I'm gonna have maybe 1 bin in, like here in the operations room, and then 1 trash bin in the east house. And then people can know where to go and where to throw the trash. If, you know, but the composting bins are gonna be in all houses and the operations room. So it's gonna be much, much easier, and then we're gonna make sure, and then if the bin is full of green waste, please make sure to tell one of the staff or me to take it out and change the bins. Or what you can do, just take the bin, like the full bin outside and leave it outside, and then take one of the empty ones into the greenhouse. Just gonna switch it, and then staff or me, you know, we're gonna, you know, empty those green waste bins, depends how heavy they are. Maybe you need assistance, so please don't lift those bins if they're too heavy. If we need, if we're busy, have like 2 people, you know, drag it and do it. So next thing, safety concerns. So please communicate, that's the key for everything. If any of the volunteers are sick, please stay at home, call us in advance, call Amy. If you cannot reach to Amy, call me, let me know, and I'm gonna talk to other popcorn staff. So we can plan in advance, and if, you know, we need to substitute any volunteers and lead volunteers. Amy's gonna work on the regular volunteers, so we can track all of it. Be aware of the weather. So if there's like any concerns, rainstorm, thunderstorms, and we're in a greenhouse, maybe there's gonna be some hail, so please make sure, get out safely and come back here to the ops room. And we're gonna, I always check the weather, so I'm gonna be on top of it. I'm gonna remind people in the morning. We're gonna make sure that all the side vents are open, so we have airflow if it gets super hot and steamy in the greenhouses. So we make sure, you know, there's some airflow. Please remind the volunteers to take a break, go grab some water. Water fountain is in the lobby or the kitchen area. We have a new refrigerator with clean filters, clean water, a lot of ice. So please refill your bottles. Please bring a snack, bring your lunch, label it and put it in the refrigerator. If you're staying like if you're doing like a 2 shifts in a row, please make sure you take a break, take your lunch. Remind the volunteers to grab a snack. There's a bunch of popcorn bags in the top shelf. Let me know, I'm gonna pop some popcorn and then, you know, have a snack, you know, just, you know, be mindful. And, you know, volunteers, they bring their cookies, pies, and things. So, yeah, so feel free to bring any snacks, especially volunteer Nick, he's, you know, he gets up to the.
This is why he is.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't like to call 9.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yes,
But
yes.
when we are all.
Yes, ambulance and all.
All the park district staff, including Sean and myself, receptionists, we are trained in first aid CPR every week, so. Please.
Well, you don't
if
wanna have to do
No.
Someone is not looking good, you know, come and get us. I don't care if they're refusing help or not, come and get us.
Yeah.
Because we have a responsibility to call 911. They can refuse the help when they get here. We want to make sure help is here if someone is starting to go south.
Correct. So we want to avoid any accidents or incidents, correct? So immediately,
With a pair of corners,
correct.
let us.
I even think close too.
So,
Flat. Grippy if you've got them comfortable.
No sand.
no sandals,
Sandals, no open toes.
And
no
wa- and
flip
maybe
flops.
all your reusable water bottles, make sure they've got your name on them.
Mhm.
So
So,
we can chase you down, and say, here
try.
it is. I got return address labels on mine.
Well, that's a good.
Yeah, it really works.
I've abandoned several here that I never saw again, so.
so yes, what I would like to remind, please ask for assistance. If I'm not around, ask Patty, ask Jen, ask any others.
Yeah. ask
CDOP.
yourself the same,
Yes. We can,
Necessarily come back here with the bags of soil and whatnot, but they will call our taxes.
correct. Yeah, and yeah. People would say, volunteers would say, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay, and then all of a sudden,
They go.
yes, unfortunately, so I'm not, trying to, be hard on anybody. It's just for the safety and, yeah, your personal health. That's the main reason.
Years ago when Ellen Kuhner made it. Is that what you were thinking?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm,
it was because she had.
correct.
And you know what, too? Helen Kuhner rushed over here to serve because someone canceled. And she was contacted as a backup. And she ran out of the house without eating and reporting for duty, which was admirable, but.
I don't wanna, call the names and, things, but yeah.
We all know,
We all, exactly. I'm just trying to, be aware of anybody's health conditions and, yes, we don't want to overdo and,
I guess ask everybody if they can.
Moderna rates go up.
correct,
so-
yes. Make sure. Um, So there's some additional questions. I would like to thank you all to be part of this amazing group and this presentation and training. Let me know if you have any additional questions. We can always,
So how do we sign up to be the lead? Because- Or are.
so that's gonna be a separate sign up sheet.
Oh, that's gonna be separate.
So Amy's gonna work on that.
So
If
should they
you-
sign up? Signing up twice?
Yeah, no,
No,
I think it's just gonna be, for the role, it will say, there's 4 tasks that you can sign up for. One will be lead, one will be help, another one will be help, another one will be help, or something like that. It will be, we're not gonna have multiple, it's gonna be, yeah, it'll all be.
How are you gonna handle when a new volunteer signs up to be the lead?
Amy can contact them, so she'll have a list of who the lead volunteers are, and she'll just say, did you mean to sign up for that? I mean, we'll
just to double check.
Yeah.
It's two, we can sign up to do. like, plan too.
yes, yes.
If you don't feel, if other person wants to be a lead that day, so you can just do your other tasks, that's fine too. So whatever works for you, so it's,
So when are we starting? Is it like we already got sleep?
Right now, open them up.
so yes, yes.
Should I stop? our
So
recording?
1, 2, 3, yeah,
So do people just want to kind of throw out what they think they'd like to be the lead, just so we have an idea?
yes.